Hello everyone, with the Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the Caribbean. It is Friday evening, May 12, 2023. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video, share it, subscribe and tap notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I post a brand new video. Feel free to leave a comment down the comment section letting me know what the weather has been like here recently. Also feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. I respond to all comments and I really look for this stuff. Alright, so taking a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see that the entire Atlantic basin is being dominated by ridges of high pressure. That's sending a lot of easterly trade winds across the main development region into the Caribbean. And we can also see that we have a stalled out cold front that stretches all the way from northern sections of North Atlantic all the way down to the north of the eastern Caribbean, affecting portions of the Bahamas, the Turks and Caicos and Cuba. If we take a look at the visible satellite images before the sun went down, we can see those low-level patches of clouds moving from east to west in that easterly flow brought about by that high-pressure ridge. We can also see a lot of clouds right there across portions of the northeastern Caribbean, moving from east to west, bringing some amount of isolated showers to those spots of Puerto Rico, sections of the Leeward Islands. And we can also see a lot of clouds associated with that cold front, affecting portions of the Bahamas, the Turks and Caicos, and Cuba with some amount of overcast skies, showers, and thunderstorms. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean weather later on. Let's focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about Friday's weather across Jamaica. It was stated that we would have received some amount of afternoon rainfall across sections of eastern, central and western Jamaica. And what ended up happening? At 2:45 p.m. a post was made on our Twitter page highlighting some amount of clouds bringing overcast skies to those very spots, eastern, central and western Jamaica. We even had some sparkling white dust across portions of eastern Jamaica, so upper St. Andrew, sections of northern sections of St. Catherine, Clarendon, and sections of Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland and Hanover got in on some of that rainfall as well. And we even had some commenters confirming the rainfall. Onika McNeil stating about to rain in Westmoreland, and the boy from country stating rain in Hanover. So that indeed confirmed the rainfall that was had across those spots. And even up to recording hour, we see what actually took place with those clouds. They developed in the afternoon hours. Then as the evening progressed, most of that dissipated with only a few isolated thunder showers left right there off the west coast of Hanover. And we even have the Doppler radar images to confirm that rainfall right there, indicated by the yellows and the greens that represent light or moderate to heavy rainfall right there. Taking a look at the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology's accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours, we do indeed see where we had that confirmation of the rainfall. So for the most part it was overcast skies in the afternoon hours, but we do see that we indeed had that rainfall across inland areas of St. Andrew, St. Catherine, southern St. Anne, southern Trelawney, parts of Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland and Hanover, just like what the satellite images showed. Taking a look at temperatures for tonight, we can see that we have 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 27 degrees Celsius in Kingston, and as usual as the night progresses, these temperatures should be getting lower. Taking a look at temperature forecast for tomorrow, we can see that both the Euro and the GFS are in consensus. There's some amount of agreement that for Jamaica for Saturday we see some slight yellows that indicate 1 or maybe 2 degrees Celsius above average temperatures. And we know that for the month of May we usually receive up to 89 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about the equivalent of 32 degrees Celsius across the island. So if we should be receiving some slightly above normal temperatures for tomorrow, 1 to 2 degrees Celsius, that is, it should be anywhere from 30 to 32 degrees or 33 degrees Celsius at most. Taking a look at the dry air map, we can see that the driest air is represented as we go from left to right, indicated by the reds and whites within those rays. So the driest air is right there off the coast of Africa, while Jamaica is embedded in some slight gold or orange shadings. So we're in some dry air, but not that robust like what the western coast of Africa is receiving at this time. Taking a look at the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Saturday, we can still see that the entire Caribbean basin is being dominated by some slight haze, indicated by those brown shadings, but the darkest browns is where we have that robust amount of Saharan dust, and that is situated right there across the main development region, the eastern main development region that is, as well as portions of Africa. Taking a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, we can see that 12 p.m. on Saturday on both the Euro and the GFS are showing lots of blues surrounding the island. They represent 1.5 meter wave heights or less, and that's due to the fact that we'll be receiving anywhere from 10 to 20 knot winds across the island tomorrow coming in from the east. As you can see, we have those blue shadings that indicate the least amount of winds across inland areas of some central and western parishes, and that's usually where we have that buildup of clouds leading to some afternoon convection, just like what took place today. So more than likely something of a repeat could happen, like what we saw today with that buildup of clouds across inland areas of central and western Jamaica. But where is the upper level support going to be? We see that we have more of a west-southwesterly flow of wind shear on the Euro and the GFS for tomorrow, so that might favor more northern parishes getting in on some of the rainfall as well as the overcast skies. Taking a look at the rainfall forecast, we can see that as early as tonight, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 10 p.m. Jamaica time, we see some blues right there across sections of northern and eastern Jamaica. You know that when we have consensus agreement on both maps, the chance of it actually happening are much higher. Skipping ahead to about 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 5 a.m. Jamaica time, we still see some blues across eastern Jamaica, so maybe St. Thomas, Portland still getting in on some of that rainfall. We see some slight blues right there on the Euro. The GFS is a bit more robust with the rainfall. And then skipping ahead to about 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 3 p.m. Jamaica time, we see the blue spreading across eastern, central, and western Jamaica, with the GFS a bit more robust than the Euro model. Lots of rainfall being predicted for Saturday, so ensure that you try your best to get that laundry done early. Even the rainfall totals on the accumulated precipitation forecast for both the Euro and the GFS is showing a lot of rainfall across the region. Look at the GFS is all of those reds, even up to an inch of rainfall being predicted across sections of central Jamaica. The Euro not so robust, but there is consensus in the fact that it will rain somewhere across Jamaica for tomorrow. So try your best to get that laundry done early so that you're not that drastically affected by the afternoon weather. And we're indeed grateful that we're in one of the wettest months of the year, although it has not been that wet for many parts of the island, and some people are in need of the rainfall, especially considering the water restrictions that are currently happening. We're indeed grateful for the rainfall that we've already gotten, and it looks to be that we might be getting in on some more rainfall as we close out the month of May. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let's focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. Alright, so as stated, we have a lot of cloud cover right there across portions of Puerto Rico and the northeastern Caribbean, Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts, St. Martin, portions of Cuba, Turks and Caicos, sections of Mexico, Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua getting in on some of that rainfall, Panama, Colombia, and portions of Guyana, French Guyana, and Suriname as usual. Taking a look at the northeastern Caribbean's Doppler radar images, we can see where we indeed had a lot of rainfall, passing shower or two, even some light to moderate rainfall, especially across portions of Puerto Rico for today. And we even had some of that across portions of Guadeloupe, Montserrat, maybe sections of St. Barth, St. Kitts and Nevis, just like what we mentioned earlier, the British and US Virgin Islands as well. Taking a look at the Barbados radar, we don't see much happening across Barbados right now, just 1 and 2 passing showers to the north and south of the island. To the west of the island, however, we see some rainfall heading into sections of St. Vincent, and even on the wider view of Doppler radar images, we can see where we have a lot of rainfall right there across portions of Cuba associated with the afternoon convection that they received today, not to mention sections of Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, as well as portions of Guyana, Suriname, and French Guyana as usual. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, we can see that we have some above normal temperatures to be received for Saturday across majority of Central America, right there as indicated by the yellow shadings, not to mention portions of the southern and eastern United States, as well as sections of Colombia, Venezuela, portions of Hispaniola, and the Turks and Caicos as well. We should be receiving average to slightly below average temperatures anywhere from Puerto Rico eastward, so majority of the Leeward and Windward Islands. Taking a look at the Saharan dust forecast, 2 p.m. on Saturday seems to have some slight hazy weather, just like what we received today across majority of the Caribbean region. And we're indeed grateful for that, because majority of the dusty weather, the one that usually affects or brings some amount of respiratory illnesses in the darkest browns, is situated right there across Africa as well as portions of the eastern main development region, and we hope it stays over there for the rest of the year. Taking a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, we can see that we have some slight purples that indicate 2 meter wave heights or more to the far south of Jamaica, not to mention portions of the Gulf of Mexico, the western Gulf of Mexico that is, and that's due to the fact that the strongest wind will be across those spots, as indicated by the slight yellow shades right there to the south of Hispaniola and Jamaica, the far south, as well as portions of eastern Mexico, right there to the border of Texas as well, with the rest of the basin experiencing 10 to 20 knot winds coming in from the east. Taking a look at the rain forecast for tomorrow, we can see that both the Euro and the GFS are in agreement that that cold front should continue to bring more up to an inch of rainfall, even some isolated flash flooding across portions of the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, Cuba. Sections of Hispaniola should be getting in on some afternoon rainfall as well. Sections of Puerto Rico, the US and British Virgin Islands should be continuing to receive some amount of rainfall as well. And we see consensus on the GFS model as well, even some purples in there up to even 3 inches of rainfall to be had across portions of the Bahamas, even sections to the south, so sections of eastern Venezuela, Guyana, sections of western Venezuela, Colombia, Panama as usual, Costa Rica, Nicaragua and Honduras as usual. Looking at the western portions of the basin, we can see that we indeed have some amount of rainfall to receive across portions of Mexico, Texas getting in on maybe even up to 5 inches of rainfall as seen on the both the Euro and the GFS models. Even sections of the Yucatan Peninsula being highlighted in red on the Euro, not so much on the GFS, but we do indeed see consensus near Guatemala, Belize and Honduras. So try to take necessary precautions so that you're not that drastically affected if some amount of flash flooding takes place. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.